Hey everyone. Um, I'm gonna start this video by saying I'm sorry that there is no like photo in the background at least or something, being that this is an audio video. But I just wanna check in and I just wanna this is like kind of for myself. It's just an update on how I'm feeling at this time on this day during this year. Um, just so that I can look back on this entire year and have everything kind of documented, whether it be me just like writing it down on paper or me recording it. Hey Keeks. So, um, how is your new year going so far? Mine is honestly, mm, it's not really a- anything too different. The only thing I would say is that I've kind of utilized the, I guess, concept of it being a new year as a way for me to reset in a few ways, like just reset my mind and my heart and everything. But there has been a few things that have occurred during the new year that have kind of put my mood a little bit down. But not enough to where I'm going to allow it to like stop what I want to do or have to do. It's just some people just never change and some things just never change. And I feel like I'm becoming more and more of a loner these days. I'm becoming more and more of someone who is just here doing things on my own and just focusing on me and just like loving myself and living just really only for myself. I don't have children, except for, Connolly. He's my cat. I consider him my child. But other than that, like, I just really feel like it's one of those energies where it's like, I hope my friends understand. But if they don't, then it is what it is because I have to do this for me. It's like I have to do this for me. I have to love me right now. I have to take care of me right now. I have to water me right now. And it's not that I don't love certain people. It's just I really have to do this for myself. I have to give myself this consistency back. I have to give myself, the love and the time and the effort that I was giving myself before all of this and all of these new people. So, I that's pretty much what I really want to say. In a few I'm going to go out and just um probably just going to go somewhere and clear my mind and things like that cuz what's the use in just kind of like being in the same spot. I really need to go. I need to go do something tonight that will, make me happier, put me in better spirits. Um there's for me, I can't promise that there never will be a time that I'll be sad again or that I'll be depressed again. But it's just that I'm in this space where it's like, even if things do get me down or do disappoint me, I'm choosing to find ways of uplifting myself. I'm choosing to find ways of just, if things fall apart, I'm pulling me back together. It's that type of thing. So yeah. So if anybody that I'm like super close with is like watching this or whatever, just or watches this later, just know like if I'm taking my space or if you don't hear from me or or if like, you text my phone and the messages are not going through or whatever. No, I didn't block you. No, I didn't delete you. No. I might have took my SIM card out of my phone. I might have just disconnected really from this entire like digital world, possibly. Well, not YouTube though, but everything else. So, yeah, they probably won't see this video or whatever. And another thing I'm going to talk about too quickly is there are a few people that I kind of brought into this year um who honestly they really needed to go out of my life. And for me, I'm not a person who will cut someone off just because we fell out. As a matter of fact, there's some people that I've fallen out with that actually not really fallen out, but like kind of got into it with or had a disagreement with who would be still staying with me in my life. But I feel like the people who are just kind of like dead weight, the people who are just kind of like there but don't really care, just around. There but not there for me. There but not really, you know, supporting me, really loving me, really caring for me. I don't need to continue those bonds, I feel. I feel like it's kind of like I don't need to continue them. But I'll be honest with you guys, right now is a little bit of a hard time for me. It's, you know, the memorial of me losing someone, a friend that meant a lot to me is coming up um tomorrow actually. Last year on January 6th, um 6/7th, a lot of really terrible things went down, and I just want to take my space from everyone at this time. So, I don't need anybody worrying about me. I don't need anybody um thinking like, "Oh, the worst." It's just I'm disconnecting. Like, so don't bother calling my phone. Like, I'm not going to get it. Not going to get the call. Um once this is over, once I'm done with this video. Don't call my phone, don't do any of that. Like, I am under a lot of pressure right now. A lot of things have gone wrong. Unfortunately, you guys, um that machine that I was so ecstatic about getting, that I showed you guys, I don't know if there's like a negative entity like watching my life or something, but whatever. Long story short, I started it up and these things happen because it happened with one of my laptops when I first got it. It had like a manufacturer issue. So, essentially there's a part on the inside that kind of mechanically makes everything else work. I can't really explain all that and go into those details I know you guys don't care about. But it was kind of unhinged that because maybe in the process of it being delivered, it got bumped around and stuff. So I had to send it back and um yeah, so it's kind of like I'm feeling like a lot of emotions behind that because it's not about the material item, it's just, I mean, the uses that I had for it, the amazing things I wanted to create with it. And of course, I mean, it's getting replaced, but I'm still very down about that. And this is kind of like the worst time for that to happen. It's just the timing is off. But I'm not saying that, oh my God, I'm gonna like just boohoo and just allow all of this stuff to just eat me up. It's just I need people to kind of be a little more understanding at least. I would like or just have a little consideration. Like I can't stretch myself thin. So I do have to remember the loss of someone who meant a lot to my life, who was such a positive person in my life, such a supportive friend in my life for over a decade, actually, that I lost 1 year into, a new decade. Not even. So I just ask everyone, that I am close with to just understand, like, if I'm distant, it's not shade, it's not whatever. But if you still choose to take it as shade or you still choose to take it and make it all about you, you can leave. You can leave. I'm at that point in my life where it's just like I have too much that I have to get done that doesn't allow me to feel my emotions. And I have to get it done because these are my dreams and my goals and I'm building my foundation. But what I won't do is deal with everyone else's problems right now. That's what I won't do. I have my viewers on here on YouTube. I haven't even been able to get out a reading to. And not to mention, I'm also going to start doing the pendulum readings for you guys. The yes or no readings that I want to also incorporate for you guys. And yet I haven't been able to do that because I've been too busy stretching myself thin trying to deal with this person's problems and that person's problems and the other person. And so if you guys see that I'm posting a lot more than before, well, it's because I'm just pouring into myself. The energy was always here. It was just being spewed into other people who never put energy back into me. And now I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming my energy. I need to be as tranquil as possible right now, guys. When you lose someone who I'm talking about a friend who before our argument emerged, they just had it. It's one of those things where it's like you got it or you don't. When you lose a friend who you don't always agree with, right? But when you get into those disagreements and they see the path that conversation is going, they say, "Hold on, let's talk about this. Let's work through this." When you lose a friend like that, I'm not talking about a friend who sits up there and it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave you alone. Bye. I'm gonna run away because you're not agreeing with me or you're not being what I need you to be." Those people who just leave, those people aren't shit. That's not a good way to deal with things. People who kind of just like, and this is a bit of a rant, people who kind of just like walk away from you whenever things are hard, those people aren't shit. Let that be known for whoever's listening and watching this video. Anybody who sees that you're upset and that you know, you guys are having some type of a conflict and they just kind of say, fuck it, I'm walking away before they even attempt to try to talk through things with you, that person doesn't give a damn about you or the life that you live. And you probably need to cut them off anyway, respectfully. So just know that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who really sits there and says, let's talk through this. And even if the conversation is, hey, I'm not ready to talk about this right now, I need my space. But you guys never have a disagreement without respectfully parting or taking your space. There was never any disrespect in that friendship, and I always valued that when we got into it. And I'm just talking about a portion of it, just the arguing portion or the disagreeing portion. Aside from that, support, let's talk about that. This person was so supportive of me, and I was so supportive of him. We were so supportive of each other. Any idea that he came up with, or thing that he wanted to start doing or start learning, and I knew how to do it. He had this like really amazing idea about an app. And if you guys know, you know that I love computer science and it's actually my dream job to be a software engineer among my other dreams. I have a bunch of dreams of things I want to do. And that I am doing. I'm working towards. But he definitely had this idea for an app. And see me, if you also really, really know me, if you really, 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 really know me, You know that I'm not too fond of making apps when it comes to, um, coding, like, I'm not interested in creating an app. I always hated that. I always have preferred to do websites and things like that, so, um, we would go back and forth and it'd just be like, "I don't really like apps, but this idea that you have, like, let's just start on this." And we had this idea, it was something really huge that would take a really large amount of time to complete, and we didn't really have the funding, didn't really know how to get the funding, didn't really know the business side of it, didn't really understand the business side of it at all, and that was one of the things that we were gonna do. Things happened in 2019 that came in between all of those plans. Um, 2019 was I wouldn't say 2019 was, like, terrible, but I would say that, um, I discovered something about myself, and I still have the video I documented, but I never posted it up here. Um, in 2019, I was in school still, and I had my worst semester, as a matter of fact. That was when took my break from college. 2019 in the spring, I had the worst semester in my life, mind you, all throughout grade school, guys. I've never once been held back. I've never once, um, and I'm not talking down on anyone who has, but I'm trying to tell you, I don't ever start anything without finishing it. I've always been that girl. Never start anything without finishing it. So I'd rather not start it if it's not for me than to start something and not finish it. Everything I've ever put my mind to, I've done. And so 2019 was just a whole shift of energy and it just changed a lot of things for me. It just shuffled a lot of things around and for the better and for the worse. So it started off for the worse and then it became for the better. And this is a long story, guys. Oh my gosh. I wish I could have done this on camera, but okay. Basically in 2019, um, it was my moment of my breakdown moment, essentially, as a human being. We're all different. Some of us have never stopped crying since we were kids. Some of us came out the womb crying and just cry as a first grader, cry as a fifth grader, in high school, middle school, cry at work. You know, some people have always been just never ashamed of their emotions and always cried, right? Never had a problem feeling their emotions, never had a problem expressing them. Then there's some of us like me who um do this thing that's called, I don't know exactly what the term is, but what I call it is, or I consider it to be, is piling things up and pushing them into, I'd say, I guess, a closet until that closet can't hold anything else and then it busts open and everything falls on you like an avalanche. That's pretty much what I did. And I had my avalanche moment in 2019. I came to the realization that I was, in fact, depressed. I was that girl my whole life that when things went wrong, I would say, "We just have to get through it. We just have to keep it going." And I would always just be the rock. I was the rock friend. I was the mother friend. I was the friend that was like, "Be strong. We got this." You know, holding everything together even when I wanted to fall apart or I was falling apart on the inside. I always just kept it together. I was that person that throughout grade school, when I was being bullied for something that I literally have no control over, which is the color of my skin. You know, being bullied for your weight is terrible, but at least you can lose weight. I can't lose my skin. So, like, just saying, guys, like, going into what happened in 2019 so you guys can really get an understanding. You know, I was that person that was like, even when I was going through that and it really did hurt me, it was like, I was just like, fuck it, I'm a boss. I can handle this shit. And I just like put my game face on and I just handled my shit. I still got my work done. I did what I need to do. You know, when I was in 10th grade, I lost my other best friend. So now I no longer have the two people that meant the most to me, friend wise, in my life. They're gone. But I had lost my best friend um best friend I ever had in 10th grade. When that happened, I didn't cry. I cried at her funeral, and that was it. I cried at her funeral and I said, "You cannot." Like, I was always that person. I was a rock. I was just like, "You have to just pull this shit together. You have to handle your shit." And I just said, "Fuck it. I'm not going to, wallow in my misery." But see, the thing about grieving and grief is that grief kind of it's not that you hold on to it, it hold on to you. You can't get around it or through it. I mean, you can get through it, but you can't go around it. You go left, it goes left. You go right, it goes right. You go around, it goes around the other way and meets you on the other side. You cannot dodge grief. You cannot dodge grief. No matter how much you try, you cannot dodge grief. And that's grief for anything. Relationships, anything. Friendships, losing a family member, losing anybody. You cannot dodge grief. So in 2014, when that happened to me, and I was probably the person I was closest to that died. Like, I've been to funerals, I've dealt with it, but usually it would be people who were, a lot older and they lived their life and they were happy during their life. So it wasn't like it was sad, but it was like at least they made it this far. But to lose your friend who's just literally your age and she didn't live her life and all of that stuff and to make it worse, it happens right beside your birthday. It's hard, you know? So that was probably the biggest event I would say that played a part in the 2019 breakdown because I held that inside. And then I experienced like other things after that I held inside and that I just kind of like suppressed. And finally, come 2019, and I'm doing my work and everything at school, one day in that semester, I just became numb. I can't explain it to you guys. There was just this one day during my semester, probably like after the first month of it, and I just became numb. It was as if I didn't care anymore. I didn't want to try anymore. Mind you, I didn't love grade school too much, but I loved college. College I loved. I enjoyed every moment of it. So for me to be in that space where it was like I was so devastated, it was hard for me. And after that feeling of being numb and just empty, I just began to cry because I felt the weight. Kind of like that card, you guys, that 10 of wands. And as taboo as it is, I do pull cards on myself from time to time, and whenever I do full spreads on myself, that 10 of wands, it just won't leave me. And so I made a vow to myself for this year, guys, because what happened in 2019, it was for my healing. It was for my cleansing. Me finally releasing how I felt and releasing my pain and just taking action towards a better life. And I made a decision that was very hard for me. For once in my life, I took a break from school. And the goal was take a break from school for about a year and a half, work, save up, get a place, move out, have your own place, have your own space, and do what you want to do. But it didn't happen that way. The way it actually played out in reality was I stopped going to school and essentially everything else around me stopped a year later. Everything closed up. We had to quarantine, we had to do all of this BS. And so my goal kind of got pushed. Next thing, I get blessed again with this amazing idea because I've been making products for my hair. I mean, I've been making my own oil blends and my own skincare blends for myself. I've been doing that. So it just hit me one day in November of 2021. No, November of 2020. Not even November of 2020. It was before that. I don't know exactly when it was, but November was when I was like actually making my labels and stuff for my products because I was doing my quality control for a while before that. But essentially, I came up with the idea whenever I did that I said, I'm going to start my skincare business. I say all this to say, guys, that friend, tapping back onto that I lost last year on the 6th of January, was the friend before everyone who said, I completely support you on this. This is for you. This is what you should be doing. You helped me clear up some of my acne. Like, you know what you're talking about. You know your shit. This is your thing. And he breathed life into me. He breathed life into me and into my dream. And that's something that stays with you. And it's not just that dream. It's always been anything that I wanted to do. And even in those moments that I mentioned before, y'all, when I was sad and I was hurt about losing my other best friend and losing Stripey and other people, he was always uplifting me, always there uplifting me, always there. And people could say to you all the time, oh, I'll be there for you if you want to talk or if you need somebody. But no, he was really there. It was not, oh, if you need anything, and it was BS. When he said, if you need anything, he said it like how when I say it. And when I say, if you need anything, I'm here for you, I mean, if you need anything, I'm here for you. If you need to hold money, if you need someone to come somewhere with you because you just are too scared to go by yourself or you just don't want to be alone, whatever it is, if you need someone to just sit with you in silence, for God's sakes, because you're going insane, I'm there. So when I say I'm there for someone, I'm truly there for someone. And so to have a friend like that when he said, I'm here for you, whatever you need, he truly was. And to lose that friend, that is hard. And that's why I ask everyone, like, and I hate to say it like this, but anyone who needs me for themselves or anyone who is just kind of like making shit about them right now, fuck off. There's nothing else I could say other than please just fuck off. Like, if it's about just a you thing, and I'm not talking about if you need advice and you really are sad and you're going through something. No, I'm talking about if it's something trivial. And what I mean by trivial is, oh, my hair doesn't look pretty today, and I'm so sad about my hair. And, some stupid shit like that. Like, I don't have the capacity for it right now because I have to remember that a friend who was a friend of all friends to me for the past decade is gone. And I'm still trying to figure out a way to deal with the fact that whenever I need to call this person, I need to tell this person about something amazing or something terrible or something, just anything, an idea. I cannot call that person. That number that's saved in my phone, it belongs to somebody else now. That is hard for someone to deal with. I don't have the energy to deal with anything else. Anybody's, attitudes or whatever. I don't. And that's just that. And so I choose to disconnect. Like, I'm just disconnecting. If anybody's doing anything to me, double crossing me, betraying me, fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. It's not my concern right now. I really just want peace in my life, and that's it. I'm already kind of devastated, y'all, about the machine. The machine came, I saw the machine interact with the machine, and then it's like if you dreamed of something and it's putting your hands and then taken away. It's like that. So I'm already like devastated about that and hurt about that. And my energy is just really beat up about that. But yeah, it's it's a lot, y'all. So I don't want to make this video hours long because I gotta go. Um, but that's really just what I needed to just rant on right now. It's like I can't deal with anybody else's shit. I have my own shit going on. My own shit for real. And I'll be back here tomorrow and probably the day after that doing something. Possibly pre-recorded videos because I really want to get out pre-recorded videos to you guys. Um but yeah, today the plan was to sew because I had cut out all my pieces yesterday. I got off live yesterday because it was so loud and all that. But today I was supposed to like sew together like some of the pieces, but today I just need a breather and tomorrow I definitely need a breather for real. But yeah, I'm just keeping good energy. I'm about to burn some Palo Santo and sage right now and some rosemary. I need just good energy just to vibe with my incense and just listen to music and just feel um before, I go out. Just want to cleanse my space and just go where I have to go. So yes, guys, that's all. And yep, I will see you guys in the next video. Um Hopefully it'll be something fun. Hopefully it won't be, well, it definitely won't be this. It won't be like a black box again. Um Guys, I'm keep yawning. I am a bit tired. Love and light to you too, girl. Good night.